Hello, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Holy moly, it's Monday, April 8th. Today's the first day of the Dental Hygienist Appreciation Week. And so we appreciate all the dental hygiene, all the dental hygienists that do their wonderful jobs in dental offices. But today the topic is if you're feeling trapped, if you're feeling like your life is going nowhere, if you're in this loophole, okay, if you're on the treadmill of life and you can't get off and you feel absolutely trapped, I'm about to give you a little bit of perspective because today there was an eclipse and I thought about it and I said to myself, do I care enough to see the eclipse? And the answer was no. I don't. And people are like, well, it's going to be many years before you see the eclipse again, or you have to travel and you have to chase the eclipse to see it again. I'm like, I don't care because I have a lot of things to do. So I don't care. But I know a lot of people were very involved in the eclipse. And actually, something that I learned today was that it's $1 billion revenue generating industry, this solar eclipse chasing thing. So today, actually, in the States, they made $1 billion in revenue across the board with regards to the eclipse. And so I decided to make a topic on how to combine the eclipse with improving yourself and improving your mind and improving your life. And I thought, okay, well, if you eclipse two things, right? Because they have the sun and you have the moon. So if you eclipse two things, how can that propel you like the solar flares or like the solar power propels it forward, even if it is blocked by the moon, even if you can actually look at it, quote unquote, comfortably, but still ruin your eyesight. And so I said, okay, well, you know what? I am going to talk about eclipsing yourself into success. So the solar eclipse, as I mentioned, it's $1 billion revenue generating industry in the States today alone. So that was pretty cool. It's predictable up to 1,000 years ahead in advance, and probably with AI, you can probably predict it indefinitely. And the next one, in case you want to know, next one is on August 12th, 2026. It's going to happen in Spain, Iceland, and Greenland. Now, on to why not to stare at it. Now, the reason is because the sun, being the most powerful source of energy in the solar system, the most powerful. So, if you had a most powerful punch, you don't want to be in the way of the punch. So, the most powerful energy source in the entire solar system is the sun. And so even if you cover it, it's still going to harm you. And there's a story of a man who actually stared at the sun and he basically burnt a part of his retina. The retina is the part of the eye that actually catches the image and allows you to see. Anyways, I'm oversimplifying obviously, but he burnt his eye in 20 seconds. Really, that's all it took. It took 20 seconds and he burnt his eye. And so then now every time he looks at someone, he looks at their eyes, but he can't see the nose. So he permanently partially blinded himself. So I'm hoping that none of you did that. But that's the reason why. Now, what does that have to do with that's the story. What does that have to do with anything with regards to eclipsing yourself or eclipsing your powers? Well, there are two powers that we have that we don't actually realize that we have, that we waste, quite honestly, which are two things. They're on the screen. They are attention and they are discipline. Now, attention, the funny thing about attention is that attention could be either brought to good or brought to bad. I mean, it depends, right? You can either pay attention to something that's actually going to benefit you, or you can pay attention to something that's absolutely going to destroy you and going to destroy your mind. But discipline is fierce. Discipline is like the sun, right? Because if you have discipline, you can either discipline yourself to doing something harmful, or you can discipline yourself to doing something that is beneficial. But either way, it's a fierce power. So that's why to me, discipline is like the sun, and the moon, being all jolly and it can be good, it can be not so good. I don't know how the moon can be not so good. But anyways, play with me here. That's like attention. And attention, the cool thing about attention is that where attention goes, energy flows. So wherever you pay attention to, that's where your energy is actually channeling. So if you're disciplined in your attention and where your attention is going, in other words, if you're focused, then you can be an incredible force. Like you can be like the sun and burn through people's retinas, not literally, figuratively speaking. So if you want to be unstoppable, Focus plus discipline. How do you beat that? Now, here's the story of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, as he was coming up, Michael Jordan, people knew, okay, yeah, he's good, but they were saying he wasn't that good, right? He's good at scoring, but he's not that good. He's not as good as Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. He's not that good, right? He's good, but not that good. Well, I mean, you could be in that category too, right? People are like, say, yeah, they're good, but they're not that good, right? I mean, I'm sure you've probably heard that somewhere. But Michael Jordan kept going, and actually it took him 7 years of intense effort and focus. 7 years of them switching teammates, of them trying to find the proper horsemen, trying to find the proper chess pieces so that they can propel him forward. But he remained disciplined and attentive towards what he needed to do. Now, another example, which I absolutely love, is this one. You know, I just mentioned where focus goes, energy flows, or where attention goes, energy flows. Now, check this out. Muhammad Ali. I'm sure you know Muhammad Ali, or you know of him. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. He said, I hated every minute of training, but I said, suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. And that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And they asked him, they said, what is your secret, oh Muhammad Ali? What's your secret to winning? What's your secret to success? And he said, it's not the training. He said, it's not, the running. He said, it's dodging the nightclubs and the girls and sleeping at 9 p.m. alone. That's what made him successful. And that takes discipline, takes a lot of resistance, because obviously he was very famous at that point. And so he could literally get anybody to come with him back to his place at any point, right? I mean, he's famous. But the reason why he remained successful, and that's the reason why Michael Jordan remained incredibly successful, because he also dodged the nightclubs and the girls. If you were to study Michael Jordan's life or Muhammad Ali's life, you'll see that the majority of the reason why, or the big reason why they were successful is because they were actually able to put aside or actually delay or completely annihilate their vices. And that is what made them absolutely powerful, like the sun. So, taken from Muhammad Ali's quote that he suffered every day, and he said he hated training. He hated training daily. And he said, suffer now, but live the rest of your life as a champion. Now, the question to you is, what are you willing to suffer for so that you can live your life as a champion? What are you willing to suffer for? So that's something you have to ask yourself. Will you eclipse your discipline and your focus so that you can become as powerful as the sun? Or will you remain feeling trapped in your life? That's it for today. Probably the shortest podcast since I started doing those podcasts. Have yourself a wonderful eclipsing type of day. Good night.